next challenge. The next challenge is string split and join, which we learned we could do with the string thing, but I wonder when you need to like put something in between. Yeah, like this. We figured it out, Vern. Woo! So in Python, a string can be split on a delimiter, which is true. So in Python, you can say split it by this. So for example, here, a.split is going to create a list based, like cutting it from every space. So this is a string, gets turned into this is a string. And then joining it, you put the character you want to join it by, and then say dot join and get this a list, and then boom, there you go. This is a string. So in Python, it's pretty trivial. It's pretty easy to do. In Go, let's figure it out. So you are given a string, split on the space delimiter, and join using a hyphen. Okay. So pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. This is a string. This is a string. Okay. So yes, let's do this. Let's make a new file, and let's call this one split and join test.go. So first things first, we have to actually specify which package we're in. We're inside the Hackerrank package. And then we can import stuff. The stuff I know that I want to import for now would be testing. I don't think we'll need... I know we'll need this one. Hey, it learned from me. It's like, you use this one a lot, so there you go. Okay, I see you. I see you, Autopilot. I see you. Okay, so let's make our test. Test, split, and join. Now here, it's not exactly what I want. Nope. Nice try, Copilot. Nice try. So what I want is to have I want to have a string that says this is a string. So that's what I want. What I'm going to get is entirely dependent on this string called basically that, split and join. But it's just going to be one single string. So this is a string. All right, so that's our input. And then the last thing is, yeah, that right there. Did I get what I wanted? So we have our test in place now. So split and join, let's figure it out. Split and join. Okay, and we're returning a string right back. Oh. Well, hello. Maybe that's how you do it. Return strings.join strings.split, input by space, and join it with the thing. Wow. Maybe that's how easy it is in Go. Right now it doesn't know what strings is, so let me save the file and see if it imports it. There we go. And I think that's it. So let's run a test real quick. Go test Hackerrank and split and join. Oh my gosh, that's it. Okay. Well, I mean, that autopilot, I keep saying autopilot because it feels like I'm on autopilot. But Copilot looks like it solved it for us. And now I learned that there's a strings thing as well. So there's Unicode and then there's strings. So real quick, Copilot, holy moly, it's so cool. And it's actually helping me learn. Right, so I didn't know about the strings package until just right now. That's really cool. I mean, that's just really cool. It's like we could say something like split is equal to, there you go again, it just knows it. And then let's do this, and let's say split and that. That'll make it a little bit more readable, so it's not all just on a single line like that. Let's run the test again, just to make sure I didn't break anything. And there we go. And I like the solution, so yeah, we're done with that. String first name, last name. No, that is too easy. Too easy, too easy. I guess these are all marked easy, but mutations. Mutations. Complete the mutate string. The first line contains a string. The next line contains an integer position, the index location, and a string character separated by. So you get it. You get a word. Then with the word, you say, "Here's the position, and here's the character I want to inject in that position," and then it returns a string. Where on number 5, it's there now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm trying to get rid of mine. There we go. New file. Let's call this mutate string. Yeah, let's do that. Package Hackerrank. Import my stuffs. Paste that in, and then Kaplowski. Beautiful. Oh, it's learning. It's learning. Test mutate string. Yes. Yes, that's what I want. You fantastic thing, you. No, but close. So what I want would be this abracadabra shmur. This one. I want abracadabra. In a string pow. Okay. Now, what I'm going to get is going to be something similar to that. Very close, very close. But instead, we have the 5, and then we have a character, which was K. And then assert equal T1's got. Yes. Copilot, you are correct. That's what I'm wanting. Okay, let's make our function now, mutate string. This is going to take, yes, look at that. So based off of my test, it's generating the function based off my test. Wow. Let's tab it in, because I'm actually curious. Instead of I, though, I'm going to call this one position. So yeah, we'll do that. And let's replace this with position. Is that going to work? So we're getting the string and we're turning it into a list of runes. So that same trick we did in the previous one. So now we have our list of runes. And then we're going to, at that position, we're going to get the, oh, and this is a string, whoops. This is a string. Or would it be a rune? Right, but cannot use K untyped string constant as rune value. How do you make a rune? I want a rune literal. How to make a rune? So how to make a rune literal? So Golang, rune literal. How do I do that? A rune literal. Oh, it's single. So kind of like C#. So like C#. There you go. So that makes a rune of K, not a string of K. And that's what we want, right? We want to say, here's the rune you can pass in, the actual character. And then once we have injected that into that position, let's find out. Enough talk. Let's actually see. So go test Hackerrank, and this one is called mutate. No, it did work. So here, we don't need this because it's already a rune. So we can just say that. The test should still work, of course. Let me just make sure because I made a change to it. So it still works. Fantastic. I started out with the test first. Once I defined everything I wanted the test to have, then the function itself, autopilot, like generated the whole thing. It was pretty cool. All right, on to the next challenge. I'm actually flying through these mainly because of autopilot. So cool. Find a string. Oh, this will be good. Find a string. Finding a string. In this challenge, the user enters a string and a substring. You have to print the number of times that the substring occurs in the given string. String traversal will take place from left to right, not from right to left. String letters are case sensitive. The first line of input contains the original string. The next contains the substring. So CDC, we'd have CDC here. Oh, and then we'd have CDC here. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Enough of me thinking. Let's write the test out because that'll make it even easier for us. And this was called find string. Let's check it out. Hopefully this part is getting super obvious now. Let's make our test now. Look, before I even wrote func, look at that. This is what it suggested. So like it is learning my style very, very quickly. So that is pretty cool. So test find string. Is it gonna know what I want? Well, it doesn't. So what I want is the number 2. He doesn't know that. And then what I'm going to get will be find string. It's close. That's not, I mean, but it only happens once. Let's use the example that we had. So right here, let's put it in, and then we had CDC. And then assert. That's fine. Assert equal t want got. Oh, we need our ending. Beep. There we go. Okay. That's what we want. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So func, let's find the string now. Okay. So here goes autopilot suggesting this. That middle part is a little... The middle part is a little... Let's see if we can break it down. So just so you know, in Go as well, this S, this is like the main string, right? So this is the origin, if you will. Maybe we'll call it that. So like the origin one, you could do this where you specify like, here's this parameter's name, it's type string, then here's this parameter's name, type string. The reason why we didn't see it before is when you do it like this in a list, origin comma substring, this will take on the type of this. So it makes it nice so then you can have like this name comma, this name comma, this name comma, and if you just put a string, all 3 of them are of type string now. So it knows that origin is of type string because this is right here. And then we are returning an integer. It knows that based off of our test. So it knows for sure that we're taking in 2 strings and then returning that, the count. So count is equal to 0. For I, it starts at 0, then I is less than the length of our origin. Then you go up 1. So it looks like we're just moving down the list. And then here, if I to the range, I range plus the length of the substring. So the length of substring is 3. I would make this 3 and then 0 to 3. If that's equal to substring, count plus 1. So that's going to say from here, so I starts at 0, right? So it's going to start at 0 and then go up to 3. So because this is 3, and then check these 3. If ABC is equal to CDC, then do the count. And obviously it's not. So this is now going to go up to 1. So now we have 1, which will be right here. And then it's going to do the next 3. So this will be 1 to 4. So here's 1 to 4. Then it's going to check that. Is BCD equal to CDC? So you can think of this as a moving window. It's going to, as it's iterating, it's this moving window where it starts here. The next time it goes through, the window shifts 1 to the right. So now we're on BCD. Then it's going to go through again. The window shifts 1 again. Now we're on CDC. That will make this true. So count plus plus, that goes up to 1. And then let's go to the next one. The window slides over again. DCD is not it. Goes on to the next one, CDC. So that would be 2 now, count plus plus. Now the next part here is how Go handles this part, where if we go out of the length, which in this case would be there's no last character right here, does it just handle it on its own, or is it going to raise an index out of range exception? So let's find out. And we can always find out by just running the test. Oops, did I spell this wrong? I did spell it wrong. There we go. And let's run this test. So go test Hackerrank. This one was called find string. There we go. See, and yeah, so my hunch when I saw this was true. We got this slice out of bounds range. So yes. So the code that Autopilot generated has a pretty big bug, but that's why we write tests, because we caught that. And it's very clear here that my hunch was true, and I have proof that my hunch was true. So when we make this move, I think we need to, because we're getting the slice. Slice a word? No, it's not. Okay. So yeah, so we're getting the slice, which is exactly that. It's the same thing that they have here. The length of it is 7. And so if this is out of range, there we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now I can't say range. Range is a keyword. Let's just say end of window for now. We'll see if I can come up with a better name. But the end of the window is going to be I plus the length of substring. It's that part. So then here we can say end of window. Yep, thank you. Perfect. Okay. So if the end of window is greater than the length of origin, break. Yes, that is true. Okay, and then this part is just the slice. So if the slice that we're in, and I'm gonna call it window, because that's what we were talking about, was a sliding window. That makes more sense to me. There we go. So let's review this code real quick. So there's our count again for I. Yes, the end of window is going to be this. And right here, we're going to check if the end of the window is already past, the window is going to fall out. Then we're going to break there. Like, we don't want to break the window. We want to break out of the loop, because now we're too far. Otherwise, we're going to move the window around. And if that window is equal to the substring, count plus plus. And at the end of it, return our count. So I think with that, we should be able to run our test again. I'm assuming it's going to pass now. Let's find out. Fantastic. So the really cool thing is that Autopilot, again, generated a lot of the function for us based off of our test that we wrote first. It had a bug in it, but because of our test, we were able to catch that bug pretty quickly and then edit what we needed in order for it to work. So there you go. Text wrap, design a doormat. Let's see, you're given a string S and width W. Your task is to wrap the string into a paragraph of width W. Text wrap. Okay. Oh, and let's close this. Now this is interesting because they're not returning anything, they're just printing it. So if I wanted to do this, if I wanted to print it out like this, I need to return a list of strings. Let me grab this. Let's go here. Let's start making our function. It didn't do it this time. Text wrap. Still not doing it. All right. It wants me to do all the work this time. So what we want, yes, it's not that, but we do want a list of that. We're going to call it text wrap. This is going to take a string, and then it's going to take a number. Yes. Yes, and then we can assert that. Yeah, so here, this is going to be A, B, C, D. So that's what we want. Yeah, because then from there you can do the thing where we can print this thing really easily and say, for everything in there, print it. So like for line in text wrap, print the line, and then it would look exactly like this. So, yeah. So let's do it. Text wrap. And then autopilot is suggesting this, where we have the string and then the width we want it to be. And then we return a list of strings. So let's tab it in and let's keep going. So var result is equal to a list of string. Perfect. For I starts at 0. I is the length of the string that gets passed in. And then I is +2 equal the width. Oh, I see. Okay. So it's almost like we're creating a window. So, yep, and see this right here again. So this is how you know we're kind of dealing with a window, is this syntax, where we start at something, and this means like start here, go through the next number. So then we're getting the I plus width. And then append, so that would add it to this result, this list of results, and then return result. I think that actually does it, because this is essentially what I'd be doing. So this is how I had it in my head for what I wanted to do, and autopilot kind of just did it. So, wow. All right, so let's check it out. Wowza. Text wrap. It blew up. Oh, we have our problem again, the index out of range. That's right. That's right. In the previous challenge, we saw that autopilot didn't consider us going out of bounds, and so we need to handle going out of bounds. Let's say the end of window again. This time we want Y and Z. So we don't want to just throw Y and Z away. We want to keep Y and Z. So end of window is exactly that. Yes, thank you, autopilot. And we can even put that here, end of window. So if end of window, let's do this, is greater than the length of S, then we want to, no, we don't want to do that. So we're right here. If we have Y and Z, and we only want to get Y and Z now, so we don't want to just break out of it. We want to actually append the remaining bit to it. So we need to do something like result is equal to append. It's going to be something like that. And then break the I to the end of it, because this just means the end of the string. So I think that's what we want. We want to get where we're currently at the beginning of the window, which is I. I is the beginning of the window. We want to get the beginning of the window to the rest of the string. So I think this is actually what we want. Let's find out. Sweet. Well, there we have it. Fantastic. Oh, autopilot. I can learn a code like this. This is pretty great. It makes it so much easier. Yeah, sweet. So I'll admit, if I was not doing TDD, this would be a lot scarier because it generates so much code. You have to make sense of the code. You need to make sure that it itself is readable for you. And then as you're almost doing like a code review of the autopilot's code. So you have to make sure it's readable for you. You understand it as well. Make the tweaks as you need. But I mean, you're putting a lot of trust in the behavior it's generating. And so because of TDD, like Vern says, thank you, TDD. Without TDD, I would be really nervous using autopilot. Because you saw how it just creates code and sometimes very buggy code. So yeah, I mean, for me, I feel the power because I'm doing TDD, and me writing a test is actually helping autopilot generate the function and know what I'm looking for. So it's instead of like I've seen some people use comments like take a string and reverse it, right? And then you're able to, it starts doing this thing and it figures everything out for you. But like, look at this, right? Looking at this thing that it generated this based off of my comment. So I said take a string and reverse it. And so it created a whole bunch actually, right? It made the functioning reverse. It knows that I'm taking a string and then returning a string at the end. But the internals of this is really scary, right? And the only part that really makes sense to me is this right here. Without having to be like, what the heck, and reading every single line. Like here you can tell that it's getting IJ and then flipping it to JI. And so that's where the reverse is happening. So even though this thing probably works, it just looks so verbose. And so that's one thing you gotta recognize with autopilot too, is you want to do a code review of its suggestions and either use what it's suggesting, as you saw that we used quite a bit of it, or at least take it and then make changes to it. Without a test, I don't know if this actually works or not. Like without doing the test, in my case, I'd want to do this in a TDD way, right? Let me put some examples of strings I want to reverse, and then write the function. And if it generated this, I could run the test and see if this actually reverses the string the way I expect it to. So anyway, it's I would be nervous using autopilot without tests. Hey there, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, as well as going to my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Carlos Kidman and subscribe there as well. All of that is super helpful. As always, please leave your comments, questions, or feedback in the comments below, or you can follow me on Twitter as well at Carlos Kidman, and put anything that you'd like me to cover in a video or a series. Thanks again, and have a quality day. Okay, bye!